Hello everyone, welcome back to Fighting Engine. Tekken 8 is set to release one day after the recording of this video, and I realized that in my last video, the way that I was practicing wasn't as structured as it probably could be, and I'm not training a lot of the key skills that I feel are necessary for succeeding in Tekken. So in this video, we're going to put together what I believe is the best training regimen for Tekken 8 to succeed as a beginner, all of the most important skills I should be training, and all of the most important strategies that I should be practicing. Let's go. Okay, so first, let's try to figure out what are the key skills one needs to learn when trying to play Tekken. Number one, obviously, is going to be movement. Movement is the main thing everyone talks about when they talk about Tekken. If you can't move in the game, you can't do anything in the game. Doing combos, doing strings are nice, but if you can't create a whiff to land those strings, or if someone's pressuring you and you can't get away from them or sidestep or do what you need to do to reset neutral to bring things back in your favor, you're just going to get shit on. So we need to figure out what drills we're going to do for our movement. And the second thing I hear the most about Tekken is that Tekken has a lot of knowledge check. And a knowledge check is what it sounds like. It's when you're fighting against your opponent and they know something that you don't, so they're checking to see if you know it. If you don't know it, they're just going to keep abusing it until they win. And if you do know it, then the balance is sort of restored and you can battle on an even playing field. Say, for example, you don't know how to tech a throw properly, then your opponent's just going to keep throwing you until you die. So things like that. So we'll put down matchup knowledge. We'll have to structure a drill or some sort of way that we can train, that we can consistently stay up to date or learn little by little about different matchups that are important. What I'm thinking for right now is I might want to practice matchups in order of most common characters down to the least common, and just day after day try to learn a little bit more about each character. The next thing that I think is important is execution. Execution and mechanics. Doing your combos and being able to squeeze out as much damage as you can once you eventually get that hit on your opponent. And then we have flowchart/game plan. Once we have our movement, we know what the characters can do, we know how to execute our combos, then we need to put all of that together to figure out when am I going to move, which combos am I going to do. We'll know exactly what our plan is so that we won't have to be guessing during the match. I'm going to try to make my flowchart and game plan as simple as I possibly can for the beginning stages of me learning, and then we'll build on it as we go. So we'll probably only have one strategy and probably one very simple backup strategy. So here we have, just for our movement practice, 10, 15, 25, 30 minutes of strictly movement drills. What are these drills meant to accomplish? We're doing these things for a reason. We're not just practicing the movement for an arbitrary amount of time. Why not practice Korean backdash for an hour? Why not practice wave dashing for 3 hours? The reason for this is because when you're thinking about mechanics, you have to think about them kind of like exercise or weightlifting. Why not just do 100 push-ups or bench press or bicep curls a day and I'll just have huge muscles? Well, your body has to recover from the movements and the use of the muscles. So the same thing goes with your hand muscles and your arm muscles, your shoulder muscles, all the muscles that you use to play fighting games, whether you're using a stick, pad, leverless, you're using your body, so your body is using energy and it's using resources that it has to recover from. Also, the 10 minutes isn't too short and it's nowhere near too long, so we're just gonna go with that for now. 10 minutes can be pretty damn long. 20 total minutes of Korean backdashing per session and 5 of backdash sidewalk, which is, I said 5 because it's a much easier technique to execute than Korean backdash. 10 minutes of shadow boxing, which just combines both of those mechanics together, and the 5 minutes of wave dashing, just because I don't want to do it that much. The shadow boxing is going to allow us to practice the Korean backdash and the backdash sidewalk in a less stressful environment than a ranked match, which will kind of work our way. It's in between doing it in training mode and doing it in a ranked match, because you have a opponent that's moving, that's trying to hit you, but they're not a real person. There's nothing on the line, so I can start to build the neural pathways, I guess, and so my brain can recognize when you see this, press this, instead of just pressing it mindlessly, just teaching my brain what this motion feels like. I want to give my brain a reason to tell my muscles to do these inputs, so that's what the shadow boxing is for. And the 5 minutes of wave dashing is because I play a character that uses a wave dash, Jin Kazama, so I want to get better at wave dashing. Now, matchup knowledge is interesting because it's not a mechanical skill. Matchup knowledge is something that we're going to have to seek out and study like you would study normally in school. I'm just going to look at the main man Sui's tier list. All I need is just a rough estimate of who I should probably be looking at. So according to Sui, it's going to be Jin, Jack, King, Jun, Ryan, and Feng. So now that we know what characters we're going to study, how are we going to study them? It shouldn't take more than a couple of hours to get a solid understanding of a character's common strategies and how to counter them. So just to start, we don't have to have a perfect training regimen for now. Just to start, I'm going to say we're going to dedicate 2 days each to learning each character in order. Watch a guide, learn what the character does, what they're most likely to do, what their best strategies are. Practice against the AI so you can visually see the character doing it. And then just like the shadow boxing, when you're just practicing basic whiff punishing, you know, trying to get your movement right and then learning how to press your correct button when the opponent misses an attack. Here, we're doing the same thing, but for a different stimulus. So the stimulus isn't just the character missing an attack. The stimulus is them missing or using a specific string so maybe we can low parry it or duck it and get a launch or something like that. So then once we see that on the AI, we can do the correct counterplay and practice it in a low stakes situation. Then you switch to playing versus a player, and then it's a slightly higher stakes situation, and you just try to focus on 1 to 3 things that you were looking at when you were studying. Do not play more than 15 minutes, and I'm gonna try my best to stick to this. I know how hard it can be as new players to just want to grind and grind and grind and grind, but there has to be a give and take. There has to be an ebb and flow. If you're not looking at your replays, I know it's hard to look at replays. Even I don't do it that much. I always tell people to do it. I don't do it myself, and that's why this channel is going to help me, because it's going to push me to actually take my own advice and look at my replays and study them. And I say don't play for more than 15 minutes because what more are you going to learn? You need that stimulus, experience the failure. They're doing that string. Let's say they're doing a string and you're trying to duck it and get a launcher. They're throwing that string on you. You're like, oh, I can't duck it. I can't tell if they're doing this string or that string, blah, blah, blah. Doing that for 15 or 20 minutes straight, what's 20 more minutes going to get you? Now, for execution and mechanics, can't really, at this point, think of anything other than just doing combos, so we're just going to do combos. So our practice for this is actually going to be really simple. So my game plan right now is we're going to create a whiff. We're going to move around, see if our opponent misses, poke him a little bit, hit him with a low, hit him with a jab. Hit him with a low. Move back, move back, move back. Put out a low. Oh, he missed? 4-4. That's a punish. I'm going to run in. I'm going to get my hook fist. Back, whatever. I'm going to do my combo. Try to get you as close to the wall. Once you're on the ground, here I come with the hell sweep. Now you're against the wall. You got hit by my hell sweep. You're against the wall. I have pressure on you. I'm going to throw my fucking heat engager. Now you're pissing your pants because 40% of your life bar is gone. I just hit you with the heat engager. Now I'm doing chip damage, and you have to worry about my heat smash. That's the plan, okay? If I miss my Oki, I'll just heat engage no matter what. Worst case scenario, they block my, or somehow reversal me. I'm eating a punish. No matter what, I'm getting up. I'm engaging in heat. My game plan is very linear right now because I don't know anything about Tekken. So I'm not gonna try to have 3 different pre-packaged game plans to just go into ranked when I first get in there. I can only do one thing at a time, okay? I'm not necessarily good at fighting games, so I have to take things really one step at a time. But I think this will be enough to help me survive in ranked. Here's my second strategy that I have. If all of this doesn't work and I just can't hit them, I'm just gonna block for my life and hope they do something on my block that's minus. I'm going to keep ranked gameplay kind of on a leash. I don't want to spam ranked all day like I used to in Street Fighter. I was really obsessed with not being scared of ranked and being okay with losing points. And that helped me a lot in that aspect of not being afraid of losing points. I'll mostly be doing character matchups, play a little bit of ranked. Probably won't want to play ranked more than like 10 ranked matches a day. Actually, yeah, 10 matches a day is going to be great because I'm actually going to be working on a 100 games of ranked video from beginner to we'll see how far I go. So I hope you guys stick with me for that, and I'll see you in the next video.